What is going on YouTube? Brendan from Market Makers, your home for Wyckoff, Advanced Fibonacci TA, and occasionally witty commentary as well. Guys, the markets, the broader markets, the equities markets, they're all pretty flat. Everything's waiting for the CPI, just like I said in my yesterday's thumbnail, ride or die with the CPI. That is what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Here on the weekly Gann price pulse pattern, again, this is my pattern, married to Fibs. Three-wave impulse, ABC correction. Of course, we broke our record. We had 9 red weekly candles in a row. We reversed it with these little piddly weak blue candles that we have right now. Looking at our targets, guys, this is where I want to focus because I do anticipate a wave up to that 40,694 if, and there's a qualifier here, guys, if the CPI beats the street expectations. His expectations are 8.2% for inflation, as rigged as it is. But if it comes in below 8.2, we definitely will rally. If it comes in at 8.2, we can still rally, but it may be to that lower level, that 34,798 level, which is a 618. But my weekly target, I would like to get up to that 40,694. Again, if you pull in, look at your VPVR. You have heavy volume resistance right about there as well. You're just at about 39K for that volume resistance. So this makes a lot of sense. If you guys watched my earlier videos, I placed this pattern via fib waves, okay? And of course, your 200, guys, a lot of people talking about 200. It's down at 22K. Eventually that will be violated. You will be coming down to a sub 10K Bitcoin. For those of you who follow this channel, God, I can't talk today. For those of you that follow this channel, we've been over this a bunch of times, but I'll do an update video after we get, most likely after, let's get the CPI report. And the Fed does raise rates, I think, 14th, 15th this month. So let's get between here and there and see what happens. And then I'll update projections for everybody on price targets. And I'll do that in the Simple FX equities commodities videos as well. Okay. So anybody who has questions about where Tesla stock may go, where the NASDAQ may go, and for this series, where Bitcoin and crypto can go, we'll put that video out there for you guys. But I do see a sub 10K Bitcoin at the end of this. I anticipate, guys, with the Fed raising rates 0.5 here in June, 0.5 in July, quantitative tightening as well, I anticipate the price action to continue, meaning pumps and dumps, waves down in a macro primary downtrend. Okay, that's what this wave is. You are pumping up to resistance. As a trader, I want to trade the wave up and I want to ride the wave down. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump forward to Bitcoin on the daily. Guys, there's something I want to show you here on this pattern here on the daily that I forgot to show you yesterday. But let's go ahead and expand this a little bit. As you guys know, we are in Wyckoff accumulation. As you know, we've talked about this higher low structure that is in play. I've talked about the necessity for a cup pattern to form outside of our trading range, but you can leave your trading range with a cup pattern forming at a higher low. And look at what you have here. You have your up thrust. I want to show you this, okay? Pay attention to this. Your up thrust to your cup, right? You see this? Look exactly what the Russell did. The Russell did this exact same move, selling climax candle down here at the base, Wyckoff ceiling, up thrust, just like Bitcoin. Remember, I used to overlay the Russell all the time. You had your cup. The difference is this broke out, okay? Your cup broke out here, and the Russell is rejected at the moment at the 618. Accumulating here, most likely for a backup type position, reaccumulation. And if we do get that good news on a CPI, I anticipate this to rally up as well. Okay. Remember, the Russell and Bitcoin both made their all-time highs within 48 hours of each other. The NASDAQ, the Russell, and Bitcoin all made their all-time highs in the month of November last year. This is tech. This is growth. This is what Bitcoin tracks to. I anticipate this exact same type of breakout on Bitcoin. And as a matter of fact, you have the exact same setup on Bitcoin right now. Okay. The difference here is we're struggling here to get the initial breakout, but that will come if we get a good CPI. If we do not, then we will fall down. And that can be very painful. It depends where that CPI comes in. Got to see the market reaction. I'll put out a video right after the CPI and we'll go over how the markets are reacting. It'll kind of be like a live thing, okay? So we'll figure it out. And let's go ahead and look at volatility and volume, really the only two things that matter here. Again, volatility is just perfectly flat. You see this? It's not compressing anymore. It's not expanding. It is just flat, and that is your range you are trading in. Volume is low, couple candles above your 21 moving average. Let's go ahead and look at a couple things here. Let's see what our cloud's doing here, get the update. Because remember, the daily is going to lag the smaller time frames, see where this resistance is. And here's your issue, right? And this is why people are asking me, why is 40,000 my target on the weekly time frame? Because in a descending market, when you're below your long-term moving averages, I mentioned this yesterday, these are your primary targets for holy grail trades if that descending market is going to continue. And again, this is how we got that short that I shared and posted in my room at 48,266. Covered that again yesterday, 47.47. Talk about market symmetry. 47.47% down move in the market. And now these, of course, move towards price. Remember, price rises to resistance or falls to support. And we fell to support 25,338. We need to rise to resistance. That resistance is coalescing here around the 1 fib at 40,645. At this juncture, if we do rally by Friday, which would be right here, okay, this would be a move up right here. It is the thickest part of the cloud to rally up into. You have your 200, 233, 144 long-term moving averages all coalescing around this area to fight Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does flip all of this, fantastic. You can ride it up further. And my up further target obviously would be 1618 at 50,104. But again, I expect if we do rally to have a failure, just like we did over here. Now you can get above it, make a shape, make a double top like we've done times before, okay, and then roll back down. This is just a ton of resistance here. And actually, let's go ahead and throw that newbie on here as well and look at for our daily time frame where our supply lines are. I mean, you see the heavy supply line with the 200, 233, lower supply line coming down to the 618 at 34,798, guys. Your heavy long-term demand line is down here, and that is right about 24K. You can go to the base of it, 24, maybe 24, between 24 and 25K, which is basically where we found support, okay, just slightly above it. So this is a peak resistance area, guys. And let's see what the VPV, let's just make the chart more cluttered. And let's see what the, do we have the VPVR? Yeah, we do right here. Let's just see what this says as well. As far as, I mean, if you look at now this is just for this trend. Remember, the VPVR works off of the candles that you have pulled in. So this goes back to January. Going back to January, you have a lot of resistance at 39K. So within 1,000 points higher, my water bottle just exploded. Within 1,000 points higher is your 6-1 or your 1 fib, okay? So again, just ton of resistance in this area. I would like to trade this on a breakout if I can. We'll see how this works out with the CPI, but I'd be looking at some type of target here. Let me go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff so I can zoom in on it a little bit for you. I would like to trade this on a breakout. And if I can, if I'm able to trade this on the breakout, if it looks good as far as the CPI as well, this would be a breakout target. Now, we don't know what the price action will be between now and Friday, obviously. If the street changes its mind and thinks that inflation's coming in hotter because some new report came out, then you got to keep that in mind. But 32,383, so required price to come up, break this trend, hopefully on a big blue pump candle like this. That's what I like to see, is just a pump candle. I don't want to see it hit the 0.5 and fall back down and then I'm negative instantly. Again, just different ways to trade, guys, but this is a gamble. This is a complete gamble if you trade something like this. If you buy down here, just keep in mind, I mean, trading is always about risk management. And when you don't know what that number will be, and most crypto people aren't going to even talk about the CPI, as you know, they're just going to give you projections. They're going to show you ribbons and EMA ribbons, say, well, Bitcoin's never done this or Bitcoin's doing this. Look at this pattern. It's fantastic. Guys, you got to understand what's happening in the market. If that inflation number comes in hot, it's expected to come in at 8.2. If it comes in at 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, this thing's going to tank. This is not an inflation hedge, which is actually kind of funny because when I came to crypto just over a year ago now, May of last year, I mean, that's when I first came to crypto, not knowing anything about these altcoins or anything. and people were saying, oh, Bitcoin is digital gold. Oh, it's a great inflation hedge. It's going to be a great inflation hedge. All the YouTubers were saying that. It was all over YouTube. It was on the news. Inflation hedge, track it to gold, all that. People had gold charts with Bitcoin on it. Bitcoin tracks the tech. I mean, that's really clear now. If people deny that, then you're just living in denial. I mean, you can overlay the NASDAQ or the Russell and see that it tracks the tech. It makes basically the exact same patterns as the Russell. And, this is something you have to remember. So if that CPI comes in hot, if Bitcoin truly tracked as an inflation hedge, it would be at all-time highs right now because we have 40-year high inflation. It would be at all-time highs, but it doesn't. It tracks the growth in tech. So just be aware. This is why I want to live trade. This is my preferential way to trade Bitcoin when that report comes out, because crypto trades 24/7. When that report comes out, I'm going to be sitting on my computer and watching what Bitcoin does. And if they say, oh, unbelievable, inflation went up, you're going to see an arrow, boom, go down. Just watch. If the inflation comes down lower, you could see crypto now. It could lag behind the other markets, or it could pump up before them. So it's a guessing game. It's a waiting game. We don't know. This is uncharted territory. Again, Bitcoin has never traded in an equities bull market that ended in the tech and growth sector. Okay, longest bull market in the history of the stock market, and the S&P and the Dow are still in a corrective market, not in a bear market right just yet. So, all right, guys, that's it. That's about 11 minutes on the daily. That's enough. Let's go ahead and go forward and look at the 8-hour and see what we can see. We can see our GANFAN tracking beautifully here, guys. Again, long-term moving averages moving down towards that 618. These targets carried over from the weekly time frame. 34,798 again is that first key level of resistance. And let's just look at our two basic indicators here. Volatility is staying the same. Volume is low. I mean, you're going to notice a confluence here with everything. 4-hour time frame, struggling with that 200 to stay above it. Tracking still very nicely along our 1-2 angle here in GAN. Moving up in this channel to 233, resting just about on the 618. Again, this is a forward wave projection, right? We move this wave up so we get some closer targets to see where Bitcoin can struggle. So we'll have to watch this as it gets closer. 4-hour time frame, volatility's expanded. There's more volume activity. Remember, this is 4-hour time frame, not anywhere near as important as a daily time frame as far as overall trend and power of volume. Okay. All right, guys, 12 minutes. Did my best to keep it short and sweet. Another video coming out tomorrow. Watch my Simple FX Equities Commodities video coming out after this as well. If you would, I would appreciate it. And I'm going to cover those markets and probably do a little bit deeper dive, maybe on Tesla, if anybody's interested in that as well. All right, guys, take care. Talk to you tomorrow.